First thing that we're going to be talking about is how to incorporate a roofing diagram from a third-party application. So the first thing that I need to do is actually get the report from Aerialogic. So it's a service. You must call them up. You do pay money for this. You don't pay Simsol because we never charge on this stuff. We just use your regular license fee. But you would have to get the report from Aerialogic's Connect Point or GeoEstimator. Okay, so basically after we get the report, it's going to come in on our desktop, and you'll see that in just a second. So when I come up here and click on roof, I'm not going to really draw the roof. I'm going to actually import that report for my roof. So I come over here like this, click on third party, and it's going to say where did you get your report from? Assurant, EagleView, or Aerialogics. In this case, Aerialogics. Click OK. Now it's asking me where it's located. I'm going to say it's on my desktop. There's my report that was supplied to me by Aerialogics. Click Open, and that's how easy it is. Check it out. There's my various different slopes, and they correspond to the drawing that's been provided by Aerialogics. Another thing that we can do is, I don't know if you've ever used this before, is the link photo 1, link photo 2. But in order for you to use this feature, you must have photos in your tree, okay, in digital photos, in order for it to work. So in this case, I'm just going to come up here like this, and I'm going to come up to where it says above areas, and then I'm going to select another photo. I can have 2 photos per area, guys, which is kind of neat. So let's take a look at the north side of this building. So all I need to do now is apply a waste factor. In this case, I'm just going to use a 10%, and I'm now going.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, I noticed one of the choices in the photos was a diagram of the areas.
Yes.
So that would tell us which area we're looking at. So
that's correct. It's associated to F1 through F8. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so you'll see it when I bring it up.
We could print that out, and then we'd know exactly where what slope to associate with each area, F1, F2, F5, etc.
Absolutely, sir.
Okay.
That's the way it's laid out. Okay, so basically I'm putting in my roof type, and I'm just going to click scope, and then once I do that, I can then come over and either run a macro on it, on a roofing, and I'm just going to come over here to roofs commercial. Let's say that it is a built-up roof, and I need to replace that. Hit scope 3, and I'm done. There we go. There's my quantity that was based on. That's going to be the removal. Or actually, you don't want to really do a scope 3. I'm sorry. That would be inconsistent. We want to use a 1 and a 2. So my first one is 513.7 squares, followed up with 565.1 squares. So I got to remove and then replace. And I put a 10% waste factor in on that. Okay, and any other items that you want to add for your roof. But let's see how that looks. So when I click on done, and I'm going to go to my printing right now. And when I do that, I'm going to come down and I'm going to select my building estimate. Place that over. Make sure that I have show area pictures selected, because if I don't have that, it will not do my area pictures that we want to see. I'm now going to come down and select the actual photos, which Simsol took that report and dropped all the relevant photos in our digital photos section. So let me bring this up here and see if we can have some photos here. There we go, photo sheets. Place this over, and I'm going to select the photos that was given or provided by Aerialogics. So we'll have above, and they have some the diagrams, as you say, is in there as well. I'm just going to put all of them in, plus pitches. So you're going to receive another thing. You're going to receive a PDF document from that, and I'm going to show you that. So basically, I'm ready to go. Click on print, print preview. And this would be the start of my estimate. There would be my different slopes, F1 through F6. Tells me how many squares per slope. And this would be the picture of the building, and this is the top view of the building. And that's kind of neat because if you were doing a built up, then you can identify your equipment pads and things of that nature. Okay, so as you can see, it's a pretty large building. And then I can come up and write my estimate. And this is what I'm going to get when I first start. You can see that. Looks really nice. There's our photos. There's our top view. There's our diagram of the structure. There is the north or east view, excuse me. There's the west view. Here we have the south, and that's what has been provided by Aerial Logics. So I'm going to get out of that. Another thing that Aerial Logics will provide you will be the PDF document. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to come up here and select the PDF document here. And I'm just looking for it here. Here is a PDF document that was provided. This might be another one, but this is going to give you an Aerial Logics. Here we go. What I'm doing here is I'm moving this over. This is another report for another building. But as you can see, this was given by the building. It says total square foot. Gives us our pitched, primary, flat, ridges, hips, if it's applicable. I'm now going to go into the second page, which is kind of neat. Just come down here to the second one. So those are our views that were provided. Then you can see that I have the actual dimensions. The next question I get all the time is, how accurate is this? Well, I can only tell you that I went out here and physically measured this building, and I got 75 feet for this run here, and all the measurements were within plus or minus 1 foot. So I was very confident on that drawing. Here's another. This is your square footage of these areas. These are some field notes that it has a list of all this. I like to get this before I go out to do the inspection, because what I could do here is I've got this little field sketch, and then I can start marking it all up. Okay, and that's a report that was given to you by Aerial Logics along with the data. Is there any questions on importing the third-party report into the Simsol system?
Now we pulled over the pictures and the measurements, but if you wanted to pull this report into Simsol and not just stack it in a PDF outside of Simsol, can you do that?
Absolutely. With the new feature of the new Simsol system, what I could do is I could close this up, open up my Simsol system, and it's going to be associated to attachments. So there's two ways I can do it. I can actually attach it from the claims and closure tree, or simply come up here to attachment and then click attach document. And when I do that, I can come right over here to my desktop and find my PDF. So I'm just going to find all my PDFs by doing a star PDF and see what we have here. So you can see that I've got a report right here of 2021 report, or this one right here. Let's see what we got. That will be that one there. So let's take a look at it. There we go. That's the one I was looking for. Okay, that corresponds to the report that that's associated with this building. So that's all in Simsol. So let me show you after I close this up. Let's say I'm ready to now submit my estimate and my pictures and my report to the carrier for payment. Click on print. I'm then going to come up here and pick my building estimate and any reports that you would put in. Alrighty, so I'm going to put in, let's see if I've got a diagram here. Building estimate here. Got it in. Let's take a look, make sure that I do have my area pictures. I'm then going to scroll down. Now that I got my building, I'm going to go to my attachments. There's my report, and then go to my photos, and then select my various different photos. And I'm going to start from above, east, lengths, north JPG, pitches, south, and west. So basically, you can place these into your photos. So when I click on done, or excuse me, when I click on print, and I'm going to do a print preview, this is what I'm going to receive. Okay, start off with my F1, F2, F3 slopes. There's my two pictures. Here's my built-up roofing, remove and replace. There's my total page. If I have to do a supplement, I have that available. Here's my commercial aerial logics report that you just saw. Probably the orientation's off, but you can turn that. And there's all my diagrams, as you can see, and my photos. Pretty easy stuff, huh? Another advanced feature that we have is going to be for contents. Okay, so there's a couple things I need to show you on contents. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go up to, I have a lot of photos here, but I'm going to come up here to my contents estimate, which is right up here. Go to my inventory of items, and I'm just going to go into the bedroom here real quick, and I can use this new web search. Is anybody familiar with this new web search? Because that's a very unique tool. And
no, I have not used it.
Okay, the web search, you have to, if you do not see your icon that says web search up here, what you need to know is you're not on the internet. If you're on the internet, this web search will come up. Okay? Basically what it is, it's a service provided by us from shop.com that can actually search about 9 million items. Yes, I said 9 million items out there, and they're updated daily. So your pricing will be as most accurate as it can be. So I'm going to come up here and look for a sofa. So when I click on sofa, it says low to high. I personally never do low to high. And there's a reason for it, because now I'm getting a book for $4.73 for all about sofas. I need to go to high to low and research. There we go. Look, there's a new search. There's a nice one there. How about this one here for a Laramie sofa, a Madura sofa, a nautical sofa. Some of them have photos, some of them don't. But basically, if I wanted to put this Outlaw sofa in, it's real easy. I come up and hit Save Item and Close. So when I hit Save Item and Close, it will automatically place this in my estimate. The only thing I need to do is come up to major classifications, identify it as a furniture, and either a upholstered furniture, and click on Done. I can then also put depreciation in at that point. So if you take, there is my Outlaw sofa. So that is a very neat feature. Now when you do search for another item, make sure that you do high to low. Okay, so that's an important thing. Then you can search for whatever you're looking for. So let me see if I can search for tools. And let's say a brand name of Sears. See what we have. There we go. From high to low, we've got different type of tools that are actually available from Sears. And it's picking up the word tool. So as you can see, I can come up and, or if I need a toolbox, let's see if we have that. So I'm searching the internet now for a toolbox and see what we come up with. So you can see it's very versatile. Is there any questions on that? It's pretty easy. You search for it, you look for a brand, try to narrow down your search. If you don't find what you want, back off on the search criteria. Remember, use that hideout.
Danny,
Yes, question. Go ahead.
when we put the item in and in the box description, where could we say this information was obtained? What database, or where, usually when you get a quote on something, you want to put it in the estimate where you got the price.
It puts it in. It puts it into the user note. So as I click on this, let's say that I need this toolbox. I'm selecting this 47-piece toolkit for $634. I'm going to save it. So when I do save it, take a look. It puts it in the user notes.
Neat.
It automatically puts it in. The source is web contents. And then all I need to do is, like I said before, you do have to provide a major trade. So I'm going to come over here to Tools, and then I can then select Hand Tools. Once I do that, click on Done, and it's in there. So that's a really nice tool for doing research. If the insured says, listen, I paid so much for this toolbox, or I paid so much for this sofa, then you can go back to web search and check it. Isn't that a nice tool? And it doesn't cost you. It's all included into your lease. Okay, so these things that normally are extra features that other companies charge for is all part of our lease. So that's a good thing.
Yes,
all right.
Very good thing.
Saves you money, but we also try to keep up with the times as well. Okay. Another thing that I'd like to talk about, and I think you're going to really enjoy this, is how many people do contents in this group? Does anybody do a lot of contents?
All the time.
Okay. Well, basically what happens, we have the ability to create an Excel spreadsheet, give that to the insured, and then they can price it and put it all in and come back to you, and you don't have to actually do anything. All you need to do is hit the depreciation amount and you'll be done. Would you like to see that?
I would love to see that.
Excellent. Okay, so first thing that I'm going to do is going to be out of the claim. That's the most important thing. Out of the claim. Okay, so when I select, and I have to have the claim that I want to send out to the insured highlighted. In this case, Oceans 21 and 22 Condo Association. Step 2, I need to go to Tools. And you're probably going to see Contents Excel file over there. And that's exactly what we're going for. We're going to go to Contents Excel. That's where it'll be, right there. And I'm going to save it to my desktop and just hit Save. Now, once you do that, you're going to then, I'm going to minimize Simsol for just a second. And I'm going to that file, which is right here, and I'm going to email that to the insured. Okay? Email that to the insured. Now, when you talk to your insureds on this, be very careful. I'm going to give you some rules. Okay? And I know that sometimes your insureds do not follow what you say, but we can still fix it when it comes back in. I'm going to now bring it up. Now, I have already put some line items in. I'm going to open this up. The insured opens this up. Okay, and I've already have some line items already in here, but I'm going to add a couple more. I would like to give you the rules. Okay, the rule is, the first important rule is no spaces in here at all. So I've got bedroom 1 is going to actually complain. So I need to hit F2, and it cannot be a space. So what I do is I put a little underscore on that. just like that. There we go. Make sure that the room name is the same on every area that's associated to, because if not, the system will treat it as unique and create a bunch of rooms, and that's maybe not what you want. So I've got a bunch of LVRs here in bedroom 1. The next thing is we're going to come over here to unit of measure. And this is important. Always capital EA. Always capital EA on the unit of measure. If it's lump sum, it won't recognize it in the system. It always has to be capital EA, and it can't be centered or formatted. Just tell the insured, whatever you see on the screen, do not treat it as a normal Excel spreadsheet. Okay, so I don't want to center bedroom 1, and I don't want to take my quantity and put it in as 1.00. Leave it like it's formatted. The next thing that's mandatory is that we need to make sure our description, our age, comments, we have some makes, models, serial numbers, the purchase from, but this is very important. The estimated unit cost, do not format it to currency. Leave it exactly like it is. Okay? When it comes to depreciation, tell your insured, don't worry about depreciation. We'll take care of that when it comes into the estimate. And the next thing is going to be the replacement cost. Now, actually, what you can do is put the formula in. So that's what I did. Or you could leave it at 1, but it does happen to have something in that field box. So if your insured really doesn't know how to use Excel, and this doesn't even come into the system, but it's required as a field to read, just put 1 in there. It has no correlation to the import of the item, because as soon as it comes in with the quantity and the price, we'll do the math when it comes into Simsol. So basically,
well, if we're going to add, I'm sorry, Dan, if we're going to add the depreciation, then we can just put a formula in column M anyway, right? So K
yes,
minus L.
Basically, that's total replacement, RCV, not ACV.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so what I would do if I were you, leave it like it is. And you can put in, for example, B2 times K2. That's the formula you want. So it's going to take B2, it's going to take the B2, which is our quantity, times our estimated unit cost, and that's going to be the RCV. Leave it like that. Leave the depreciation blank, and when you bring it in, you'll see how fast we can fix it. Okay? Those are the rules. I'm going to add another line item called bedroom 2.
Danny?
Yes.
On item description, you have spaces. Are those okay?
Where are you at?
Item description has spaces.
That's okay. That's okay. It's only the room area. Only the room area.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to come up here and say 1. Remember, it's got to have 1. That's required. So I have to have a room description. That's required. B, I need a quantity. That's required. EA, always. EA, always. D, let's say bedroom set complete. Age, 2. Comments, I don't need to put 1 in. Let's say that I got this from Target or Target. Okay? This would be a model. Let's say I don't have that. That's not really required. Purchase from Target. That's okay. Now the estimated cost is mandatory. Let's say it's $2,500. And as you can see, I already had a formula in there, so it automatically placed it in there. What I usually do is just do a copy and paste if I need to copy the formula. But I cannot have no spaces underneath here. So, dividers. So if I was going to put in bedroom 3, I can't. I'd have to put it right underneath bedroom 2. Is everybody good with this?
Yes.
Okay, so you know the rules, right? That's the rules you have to tell the insured. I have to save it before I exit. I'm going to X out of it and get out of it. I'm going to bring our Simsol system up. So now you just got this brand new Excel spreadsheet that we just did, or the insured just did. I'm going to go into the claim, and I'm going to go to contents. Right here, inventory of items. Now remember, I just have one bedroom here. Okay, so I'm going to leave it alone. And I'm going to come up here to import. Does everybody see the import button?
Yeah.
Make sure everybody sees it. It's right here, import. So when I select it, I then need to go and find where it is. In this case, it's going to be our desktop, and it's going to be that 111 Simsol soft. That's the name of the file. Double click. It asks, I have a total of 9 items with 0 depreciation. You do have the ability to say, oh, I want 5%, 10%. I don't usually do this. I just click OK because I'll depreciate when the system comes in. But look what I have. Checking columns is done. Verifying room data is done. That means I have no problem importing the areas in. If it failed, it will tell me where it failed, and I would have to go to that column and fix it. Okay, so here I've got bedroom 1, 4 items, living room, 4 items, bedroom 2, 1 item. So all I need to do is click import. As you can see, it created it right off the fly. Bedroom 1, living room, bedroom 2. Let's take a look at it, see what we got. Double click, and there is my unit cost. My depreciation is blank, so I need to add that real quick. Let me show you a trick. In the Simsol system, there are 3 views. VSS list, there is a manual view. If I left click on the manual view, go to the depreciation percentage, and now watch what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to say, oh, I want 5%, 10% on that one. This one is going to be 25%. This one is going to be 30%. This one's going to be men's dress shoes, which I'm going to say 30%. Now I'm done with my depreciation. Now I can come over here come right over here to the living room. Go to manual mode, start up here to the depreciation, and then say 20%, down arrow. Floor lamps, let me go 10% depreciation, down arrow. How about the stand? Let's say 10%. How about the TV? 30%. Do you see how fast I am doing these? I'm verifying the prices, what I'm getting from the insured, going to the manual mode, looking at it, going to the column, and then applying the depreciation.
Okay, now the sales tax, do we have to put that individually in there, or will it incorporate, populate from the way we set up the claim with the sales tax at the beginning?
Okay, good question. And the answer is, it depends on the type of claim that you're doing. In a flood claim, if you're doing a flood claim, sales tax is embedded in base price. All right, so when you tell the insureds to give you a price, it has to be out the door, including base price. If you're doing a wind claim, what you want to do is make sure before you do your import, go to contents inventory and then select the sales tax. So when I do have the sales tax in and I re-import those in, it will automatically put the sales tax in for me.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, now remember, these guys don't have sales tax in. Okay, they don't have sales tax. What I would have to do, the fastest way is just going into the manual mode into each area and adding 888 all the way down real quick. That's what I would do. Or you can re-import it in. If you didn't do too much work, bring in the items in from the import, and when it does, it'll apply the sales tax automatically. If it has the sales tax, attributed to the line item. So watch what I can do here for sales tax. Let's say it's 8%. 8 down arrow, 8 down arrow, 8 down arrow, 8 down arrow. Done. That's contents of XL import, which is a really nice feature. Another thing that we're going to be talking about, I wanted to get into this estimate here, And I'm going to show you some tricks as far as taking it from another estimate. So I'm going to come over here to Mr. Buck, open this up, go to my scope of damage, and let me try to find some line items here. Let me just go into a very large claim here. And let's see what we have here. There we go. So when I click on this, I'm going to go to the scope of damage. And this looks kind of big, don't you think? Look at this claim. What I can do is if I have another claim that I need to copy these same type of scope, I can copy one area into another estimate. So basically what I'm doing here is I've got them designed into groups. So I'm going to say covered flood items. Watch this. I'm going to highlight it, right click using my mouse, left click on copy into another estimate. So when I click on that, it says copy the group. I'm going to say yes. It's now it's copied. I can then close my hide and claims enclosure tree. Come over here to my active drawer that I'm working on, my claim. Go up into the Oceans 21 claim. Go to my inventory of items. I'm sorry, for the building. And then right click using my mouse and paste. And there it is, covered flood items. There's my estimate. Is that not cool?
That is nice.
Okay, so basically what I did, now the trick to this is, to get all those in there, I have to use a procedure called grouping. Grouping. Does everybody understand how to group? Should I go over that? Grouping. Basically, grouping is nothing more than making a header, okay, or a placeholder for these areas. And as you can see, I have basement areas, and then I have all the areas that are in the basement, then the dentist area, okay? And I have attributed the basement area to the covered flood items. See? So what I did is I embedded a group within a group. To make a group up, it's very easy. Take my mouse, click on group, give it a name. And then from that, I can now create an area. Put my dimensions in and place it in there. Go to scope. And what I'm going to do here is just run a real quick macro. So basically here I'm putting in a typical bedroom. Here's a typical, or a living room. So for example here I've got R&R drywall paint. I don't know what's in that one, but let's just pick one. R&R bedroom with carpet. There we go. I'm going to click on done. Process all. Click on list. These are all my line items. Automatically came into that room. Okay, real easy to do. I'm going to click on done, and as you can see, I have unit 1 here. So if I need to put this into the covered items, see how I have unit 1 is totally a separate group? I can associate it within a group by just clicking unit 1, putting it right into covered flood items, clicking on yes, and now it's in the tree. Did you see how I did that? All I did was mark unit 1, hold the left click button, drag all the way up to the other folder that I had. Once I let go, it's unit 1 is now associated to the covered flood items. And that's how I can embed a group within a group. And
Okay,
where it really comes into play is if you're doing large condo losses or multifamily apartments
or a nice motel.
or a nice motel. Absolutely. So you could have first floor, second floor, third floor, and then from those floors you'd have those units. But what you could do at that point, if they're the same schema, you can basically go right and select copy. So I could copy a group. So if I need to make another copy, I can just hit copy. Or let's say unit 1 to go to unit 2.
Okay, a side question.
Sure.
If you're in a group,
Mm-hmm.
can you, or in an area,
Mm-hmm.
can you copy particular line items and paste them into another area?
It has nothing to do with the grouping functionality. But yes, if I could come over here to living room right here, select it, go to list mode. Now here's the trick. Here's the trick. If they are custom items, meaning that you did an override, or it's not going to copy that. It's only going to copy what's in the database. Okay? So flood loss cleanup, remove premium grade Berber carpeting, these are all standard items. They will copy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my control key down and I'm going to pick the line items that I'd like to copy. And I'm going to leave the base molding out in the doors. I'm going to click on copy. When I do that, I'm going to select done. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a new area up. I'm going to call this bedroom 1. And here I'm going to put some dimensions 15 by 10 in. Real easy to calculate the math. So when I click on scope, there it is there. I can use the paste operation. Click on accept. Click on list. There's my items. But another thing that I can do is take my bedroom 1 that you see right here and place it right on unit 1. Now it's associated to unit 1.
Okay, thanks.
So this is how you can manipulate areas. But another thing that grouping does for you, which is really important, if I print this, this is a large estimate, by the way. So I'm going to come over to my print. I'm going to come over to the building aspect of it right here. I'm going to bring my building over to selected print items. And I'm going to turn the estimate off because I don't want to print all the estimate. But I do come up to the appendices and see where it says group area summary detailed report. Does everybody see that? I want to make sure everybody sees this. Okay, right there. Because when I come over here to print this and I do a print preview, and I'm going to come and go to the estimate summary totals details. This is that group summary report that I had selected. Look at this. This is awesome. You come over here to the building estimate. You get the total covered flood items. You get the basement area below grade. You get all the areas with all the figures, okay, which is right here. I also then come up to the dentist area and put that all in. Come down to the restaurant. And when I go to the next page, and then as you can see, there's my unit 1 that I added, so I know exactly how much that is. But look where the group is. It says totals for the covered flood areas. I want everybody to see that. So what I did is by using the group function, I can then segment and get subtotals of those groups totals, including overhead and profit and sales tax if applicable. So then it gives me the grand totals for the flood items. Then I would get another one for ungroup areas and then exteriors. So if an examiner comes up and says, well, wait a minute, I know I like your estimate and everything, but I need to know, what did you pay for the South Hall? He can see it right away. How much did you pay for the North Large Rec Room? There it is. How much did you pay for all the covered items? How much did I pay for all covered items? Right up here, 86,347.56. But I need the overhead and profit on that, not the total overhead and profit for the whole job, but just for that flood items. Place it in. What's my sales tax for that covered flood items? How about the ungrouped areas? Well, I need to know what the roof is. I need to know with O&P and sales tax. So if you had to break out your roofing, which is really cool, then you would say, okay, listen, I'm going to make out a one for roofing as a group, and then put all the roofing repairs there, and then you have interior repairs. So when you have to pay your contractor, the contractor comes up as you only have a roofing contractor who's only going to handle roofing, you could use your group function, and then you can actually put in his overhead and profit and his sales tax. And then you can break that out for the interior repairs, which another contractor is going to handle that functionality, a part of the estimate. So you can see how grouping is definitely a very powerful feature in your estimating arsenal.